Here's what we're going to do today. Now, I wanted to start working on some Love2D stuff, and we've been working, me and some friends in a Discord have been working on programming in Love2D for a little bit, just kind of having fun with it. I guess I'm going to go through and demo some of that stuff, or just look through this directory and see what we have, right? So, one of the first things that I've been doing, or one of the things I've been focusing on, is trying to create a rhythm game. I'm really into rhythm games, you know, like your Dance Dance Revolution, what have you, Prep of the Rapper, Frequency, I don't know, just about anything you can think of. Anything Beatmania has done. Really into that stuff, and I wanted to create something like that, something akin to that. So I got some pretty primitive ideas going in Love. So here's one that was built, or the equivalent of built. And so this is just the concept, right, of firing an arrow up the screen. This is actually called ddr.love, right? And the reason it's called that is, this is what I like, is that you can take this and slow it down, slow down the BPM. Yeah, that's the idea of shooting an arrow up the screen, right? Just like Dance Dance Revolution. So there's a neat little demo, right? And, you know, eventually I programmed up to the point where I had a full rhythm game, really. And, you know, because this is only one piece of it, really, it evolved into different ways. And I wonder even, actually, it should be easy because there's different debug states. So we'll start with the current debug state, which is, or there's different states, I should say, and we'll start with the current state. The current states being kind of like levels, menus, whatever, what have you. They're the different pieces of the game, the different parts that are being displayed to you. And so this is what the current slash rhythm. This is what the current state looks like. Pretty proud of this. And so you see press space or click to attack, and then you do that to the beat as these skulls come across the screen. So every time you click, the fox jumps forward with the sword in its mouth and takes, see. And so there's a lot that goes into this. Here's kind of how this whole thing works. So you see there's also a miss state. If you don't attack, it knocks the fox backward whenever they get hit, right? The main thing is what they call a conductor class. Okay, so the conductor class allows things to happen to the beat. But it's more complicated than that, because you don't want to just set, this is distracting me, so you don't want to just set a beat, like, you can set a beat, but what will end up happening is the internal clock, whatever you set for the video game, will get out of sync with your music. You need a way to keep them synced, and I was struggling with this for a long time whenever I created rhythm games. The idea is to create a conductor class. I read this somewhere in a blog post, and it was, you know, that this is kind of the de facto tutorial on this concept. And I think it was made by the guy who created the game, I think it's called Song of Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice, a dance of fire and ice. I see what they did there. Okay, it's not the George R.R. Martin book. It's a dance of fire and ice. It was made by the creator of this game, talking about how he made it. The idea is that instead of creating some timer in your video game that's not synced to the music, what you do is you have a process in the update loop that is constantly checking in on the where you're at in the, it's the word I'm looking for here, in the progress of the music. How long you have something playing, the seek bar, that's a good way to describe it, right? Is something I don't hate. So say you're having this song playing, this seek bar, so you see the number, you're always using that, you're using some float of the seek bar to determine where you're at in the song. And so because you're always using the actual distance the song has played, you never get off the beat. So that's the concept. And so this conductor class does something like that, right? Like if you see the functions in here, you know, rounding to an eighth note, this is something actually I kind of want to expand on, because I'd rather not always snap to eighth notes, but that's what I've been using. You know, getting the current beat, and that's where this tell comes in, and that's, I think, kind of like the seek, or I think the tell is the right word for audio. I don't know, I'm not like an audio programmer generally, but the idea that you're finding where in seconds you are, you know, with the float, with the decimal, and then dividing that by a beat interval and adding an offset, you can always get where you are in the song, right? So this little conductor class here is very simple, but it's very powerful. It's the thing that I've built everything around. So I can show you kind of some of the other stuff I've built. Rhythm Heaven is my inspiration for this and for what I've been building. Debug 3, and I'll show you. I don't know. Maybe we can see what some of the rest of it looks like. And I'll show you what I was using. There's an enemy phase. It's like Simon. Hit the beat, and if you miss the beat, it's got a Simon Says quality, right? It shows you enemy plays, favorite plays, etc. Right, and so this is I'd like to say inspired, but I think the word is completely stolen from Rhythm Heaven. So this is, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to take something that already existed and see, hey, can I remake this, right? And so this is what I was trying to emulate. And yeah, that's basically the Love2D project I've been working on, which is a rhythm game essentially. I think that's they're more or less shameless ripoffs of what Rhythm Heaven is doing. I'm a little more proud of this game one because this one actually has graphics, and it's got parallax scrolling in the background. It's got these images. All of these images are taken. These are public domain, more or less, images from itch.io. So I'm just getting free assets from itch.io and throwing them in here and animating them. And yeah, I mean, this is just something I've been working on, and I'm gonna go through some more of this stuff today and start posting where we're at, maybe where we're headed, that kind of deal.